Well, you can't maximize your missional potential if you can't see your missional potential. Hey, I'm Pastor Matt here with your Missionary Pathway Mission Insight. And this mission insight in all its wisdom was actually shared with me by a young DCE in her 20s named Katie. And I wish I had that kind of wisdom in my 20s and, let's be honest, in my 30s. Because the reality is, as we've talked about before, resources can be blinding. And one of the reasons they can be blinding is you can have all the resources you think you need, but if people can't see the missional potential in those resources, you can never maximize those resources. And I've learned this kind of backwards in a church plant where you don't have a lot of resources, and yet you seem to be able to do things you should never be able to do. That's because oftentimes in a church plant, you get people on board with the vision so they see the potential. They're jumping on board because of the potential. But oftentimes in established ministries, the first thing you have to do is take time to slow down and help people see the potential. Because if they don't see the potential, it doesn't matter how many resources might be there, you're never going to be able to deploy those resources for mission if people can't see the missional potential that you see. So how do you do that? Number one, just remember, you can't deploy the resources for mission till people learn how to see the mission. You need to help people learn how to see the mission. And sometimes that means you need to slow down to be able to speed up. The reality is sometimes you need to slow down and you need to help people learn how to think missionally before they can see the missional potential. So the next thing you should do is equip people to think missionally. When you help people learn how to think missionally, it makes it much easier for them to see missional potential around them, because the reality is oftentimes trained ministry leaders have been taught how to think missionally, but the people around them only know how to think past church experience. So the only way to help people see missional potential to deploy resources for mission is to slow down and to help people learn how to think missionally. Because once people learn how to think missionally, then they can begin to see things missionally. So in the end, remember, you're only going to be able to deploy mission for resources when you help people see the mission. So you can't maximize your missional potential if you can't see your missional potential. So take time to help people see that potential. If you need help with that, man, we have a couple great resources that you can use to do that. We have a thing called mindset shifts where you can help people start thinking different missionally. You could engage with some more of these mission insights. And in fact, if you click like and subscribe, you can always share them out with somebody else. Or you could dive into the missionary pathway process. The missionary pathway process is designed to help people learn how to think missionally and then how to go out and share the gospel and make disciples in the places they live, work, learn, and play. So any of those resources would be great. Whatever you do, just take the time to slow down and help people learn to think missionally. And then you'll be able to deploy the resources you have for really powerful mission.